Jahmyr Gibbs' value just took a big hike upward. Why? Because Ben Johnson is returning to Detroit, which is fantastic. We don't want this situation to change. But according to NFL Network, Lions have told Commanders Seahawks that Ben Johnson will remain the team's offensive coordinator in 2023. Same thing going on with Bobby Slowik. We're going to break all this down and more. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
This is good news, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want things to change for Jahmyr Gibbs and for Amon-Ra St. Brown and for Sam Laporta. I mean, it all trickles down. We want everything to stay the same, and far too often, everyone's on the move. Anybody makes the playoffs now, those coordinators are gone, and everybody kind of digs through all the teams and tries to pull out the QB coordinators. And in some cases, we're very fortunate and happy. We've had this coaching tracker carousel that we've been referencing for the last handful of weeks, maybe months. And we're pretty fortunate that we've got a few moving parts here that feel really, really good for the progress of certain players like Bijan Robinson. We want Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson out of LA because McVay can kind of survive without these two gentlemen. I think it won't be that big of a nut kick. Just like when Miami Mike McDaniel left the 49ers and went over to Miami to transfer that offense over to Miami, it didn't affect anything because guess what? Shanahan was the top of the coaching tree. Sean McVay's the top of the Rams coaching tree, and it trickles down. So dividing off pieces of those offenses don't cripple the current offenses losing those coordinators. A good example of how this is a devastating branch off of OC leaving, DC leaving, and head coach not being able to survive is when Shane Steichen went over to Indianapolis last season, and you have Sirianni left to try and mend everything together, and Sirianni couldn't do it. He isn't the top of any magnificent coaching tree. He can't produce amazing offspring at the NFL level. He just can't. He is a guy that needs a bunch of firepower below him. And granted, Sirianni's got some pros and some cons to what he brings to the table, but he's not an example of this. And I don't know that we would have the same thing going on in Detroit. If Campbell lost Ben Johnson, I think we all feel at this point Campbell might actually let this thing slip away a little bit. Like, not a lot, but a little bit. Maybe he wouldn't make some of the right calls. I'm really excited that Ben Johnson is remaining in Detroit because this is probably some of the most underrated news we're going to hear in the next handful of weeks. I'm just telling you right now. This is critical to keeping Jahmyr Gibbs. And what keeps Jahmyr Gibbs and Monty on track keeps Laporta on track. What keeps Laporta on track keeps St. Brown on track, and vice. It's all a cascading effect. This is absolutely the most understated, amazing news we will get in the next handful of weeks. I'm just telling you right now. And for that, we're going to do a standing ovation. It is huge news, people. It's quiet. It's under the radar. No one's going to talk about it. It's huge for Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's go. So here we are with the boss horn. Hold on, let's put the we gotta put the business attire on. What are we doing? We gotta put our uniform on. Uniform has been activated. Boss horn has been activated. Anybody drops a $20 holler on the show tonight, we'll activate boss horn. Let me give you one more free taste of the boss horn in full effect. Let me put safety first. Seriously, I had a migraine all day from you. Oh. Safety first. Safety first. I had a migraine all day yesterday from the boss horn, and it goes a little something like this. Oh, God. Boss horn activated. $20 hollers. Get the new boss horn. celebration. I even have a little bit of a new scene and animation for it. But Jahmyr Gibbs to the freaking moon. Why? There's science behind it. There's science behind why Jahmyr Gibbs is going to climb to the top. And let me show you a little bit of that science right now. There's actually algorithms and data that support why he's going from number 5 to number 1. And we got Instagram in here. What's up, Graham? Appreciate you. I got Instagram comments finally that I can pull on screen. It's absolutely magnificent. We got Instagram in the house. Instagram, appreciate you being here. Let's roll. Let's roll. We got everybody in here right now. We got about 100 people in the room. Please punch the thumb up button. If you're on IG, you can watch from IG. That's no problem whatsoever. If you're on YouTube, then you're getting a little bit better experience. But it is what it is. You like your platforms. It is what it is. Thank you, IG, for showing up today. What were we saying here about Jahmyr Gibbs? Oh, the science. Why is Jahmyr Gibbs going to be an absolute monster and a top 1 to 5 running back instead of a top 5 to 10? We got to redo a little piece of this clip, but this will explain. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs's workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. This man, Jahmyr Gibbs, he looks better than Kamara looked coming out of college, more prepared to become Kamara. Smitty, did you just say Gibbs was more prepared to become Kamara than Alvin Kamara was prepared to become Kamara? It really is that simple. And if anybody doesn't understand that, then you don't understand us. Okay, so yeah, any $20 haulers will activate the boss horn moving forward. There is a little bit of a rule. I went to Miss Smitty last night. We had a heart-to-heart. I said, look, the show needs the boss horn. There's just no way to negotiate this. What do I need to do to make you happy? If this thing gets fired off in the middle of the night, what needs to happen? And she set 2 conditions. She said, look, you do whatever you want. She can't, first of all, let me make sure she's not behind me. She can't control me, okay? Number 1. Number 2, during the day, everything's off the table. Like, this is my job. I understand when the sun goes down and it starts dipping into family time and I start working overtime in the evening hours, right? I gotta give and take. So Miss Smitty said, look, I'll never complain about the boss horn getting fired off at midnight, 1 a.m., 3 a.m. If you change the amount at 9 p.m. Arizona time, that's 11 Eastern. So 11 Eastern, and then when daylight savings kicks in, it becomes midnight Eastern because Arizona doesn't move. So 11 p.m. Eastern, I can't fire it off for $20 haulers. But she will allow it to go off as much as any of your heart's content for $100 haulers in the evening graveyard shift. Okay, that means that at 2 a.m., if you want me to fire off the boss horn in my humble abode, I'll do it. It's just going to be a hundo. And she said she wanted an iPhone upgraded, and we said we'll give you an iPhone. It's a true story. I'm not joking around. That is the conditions Miss Smitty set. I said, let's do it. And then as I walked away, she just threw in a little and Beats by Dre headphones. And I said, what? And she goes, if I'm going to have to go like this at night, I want some nice headphones to maybe do it. But she promised she wouldn't complain ever again. And if that woman complains about the boss horn going off at 2 a.m., I told her I walk in, grab her cell phone, her brand new cell phone, bring it into the show, put it on tabletop mode so you could see me smash it into a million pieces. I said, I better, when we upgrade that phone and we get you the Beats by Dre headphones and you're good to go and upgraded, I'm firing off the boss horn at 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m., Superfish dropping a wad on screen. Superfish, let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
This is for alert. Ron Navy.
Super chat alert.
This $20 hauler from Superfish is for Ron Navy and his beloved Steelers. We all warned Arthur Smith wasn't far away from. Yeah, we knew this was happening. Arthur Smith, I'm going to break that news in a second. Arthur Smith is now the offensive coordinator. Sorry, hold on a second. Arthur Smith is the new offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh, and that means the death of all Pittsburgh Steelers players. That means Kenny Pickett, of course, he was gonna. We know where that was going, but now it's done. He's nothing. He's gonna be nothing. He's Ritter. He's got the Ritter. It sounds like a disease. Now he's got the Ritter. That's transferable. Pickens, good God, we'll talk about it in a minute. We're here for Superfish, who dropped a $20 toot. Here's your toot. Do it live. Do it live. Thank you, Superfish, for dropping the 20 watt on screen. You absolutely rock. You are the best. Let's see here. Toot the horn. You guys want to toot? Drop a 20. Toot the horn. This is for Ron Navy and the Steelers. We all wanted Arthur Smith far away from the Falcons, but not sure if this is much better for others. Would love to hear Ron's take on this. Honk, honk. We'll have Ron calling in a little bit if he's around. And I can tell you right now, he's going to be pissed off and writing off the Steelers. Like, he's going to be so mad, he won't want anything to do with it right now. He's going to be completely far away from this. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Again, for those that missed it, and I got all my Instagram peeps in the house now. Niners or Chiefs, Smitty. You know, this is going to be a tough call. Give me a little bit on this one, because it's literally a toss up. You got the Niners, on a mission right now. You've got, I believe, majority of people will be rooting for the Niners because they're so sick and tired of this Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift narrative. They're so sick and tired of Patrick Mahomes' wife. They're so sick and tired of Patrick Mahomes' brother. And they're so sick and tired of the Chiefs winning. Anybody that's a Chiefs fan, I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying that's the way most people feel. That is not a knock on the Chiefs. That's not a knock on you. That's not a knock on anything. I just think that that's the way the majority of human beings will be. So I think there's going to be a lot of Niner support amongst regular Joes and Janes. But I don't know that the pundits and I think that the talking heads will be split on it. But I think you're going to see like a lot of KC hype, and you're already seeing all the favorites. KC's the favorite. So the Niners are going to be underdogs. The last thing you want to do is give the Niners the underdog mentality, because that's where they thrive. That's where the pressure gets lifted off them. So this isn't anybody wanting the Chiefs to win and then pumping them up is not doing themselves any favors, because you put the Niners in an underdog position, and that's a whole different ballgame. Where I think they're slipping is where they're supposed to be the favorite. They almost lost against the Green Bay Packers. They almost lost against the Detroit Lions. Two very, very bad halves of football, almost crumbled in both of those scenarios, came out on top, and now you're going to make them the underdog. That's what they want. That's what they want. So if you're a Chief fan, if you're a Chief supporter, if you're a Chief predictor, you're putting yourself in a bad spot. That's not where you want them to be. It's going to be close. I think at the end of the day, I feel like the refs and Taylor Swift, it's destined to happen. So if you wanted me to say, what do I want and what do I think happens? Those could be two different things. I think the Chiefs it's just destined. The NFL, I almost think it's certain. Whether it comes down to a call or something. I'm not saying that they're corrupt to the degree everybody else says, or that it's rigged, or that it's scripted, or whatever. But I do believe this is what, I think they just wanted the Super Bowl to be the way it is. I think at this point, win or lose, doesn't really paint as many pictures as having these two, face off against each other. They wanted the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They got their wish. Now, maybe the NFL doesn't care who wins. We'll see what happens, but should be interesting. So anyways, back on point. Ben Johnson in Detroit, it's going to be the most understated win in fantasy football 2024 in the offseason. I'm telling you, this is a win. This not only... Think about what happened. Arthur Smith went to Pittsburgh. Let me break that real quickly before we continue on the Ben Johnson news. Arthur Smith, formerly head dunce of the Atlanta Falcons, head putz of the Atlanta Falcons, gets fired out of Atlanta, His daddy at FedEx, his dad, I guess, owns FedEx or something. His daddy didn't even hire him. So he went looking for a job again. And this guy, Mike Tomlin, who Ron Navy's been warning us is not what everybody thinks he is. He doesn't win in the playoffs. He's amazing during the regular season. Never had a losing season. Blah, 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 blah. Never wins the big game. Ron is coming in screaming and yelling. And I hear Ron, he sends me clips and he also tells me about it all the time, that he's calling up all these Steelers shows and making like waves. And Ron's just calling into these Steelers shows and just going, "You son of a bitches, this guy Tomlin's a horrible coach," and everyone's just arguing with Ron. Well, Ron's got a damn good point that his beloved Mike Tomlin doesn't know what he's doing either. Because Matt Canada's offense sucked rocks, and now we have Arthur Smith, the worst offensive mind in the National Football League, coming in to be your new OC of a struggling offense that has a quarterback named Kenny Pickett that is going to now catch the Ritter. It sounds like a disease. It probably is. The Ritter is now being transferred over to Kenny Pickett, and Arthur Smith is going to destroy everything about this from a fantasy perspective. George Pickens, goodbye. Why? Because look at Drake London. Drake London was amazing in spots last year, and then he'd vanish. You couldn't even trust Drake London because he'd have 150 one day and get nothing the next day. And so you weren't sure what you were supposed to do. So you'd start him, he'd fail, wasn't his fault. You'd start him again, he'd fail again, and you'd be like, I'm done. You pull him out, he'd get 150. Like, Drake London is potentially one of the best up-and-coming wide receivers in the National Football League. But guess what? Everybody's numb to it because they don't think it's not possible. I haven't seen Drake London do it, right? I've been sitting here watching and being consistent, getting brainwashed into thinking he's not as good as he is. Drake London could be top 5 to 10 wide receiver material in the NFL. This could be one of the most underrated players in 2024. In fact, dare I say, we have a show maybe later tonight on this. Drake London may need to be added to a list tonight, right here, right now. Because, quite honestly, there's no wide receiver that's outside of everybody's top 8 to 10 that feels more willing, more capable, more destined. Even before Arthur Smith unraveling this whole thing, he felt like he was destined. He still feels like he's destined. He's now about to get a huge QB upgrade, which I think a lot of people still think isn't going to come. But Drake London was useless under Arthur Smith's command because he was inconsistent. And let me tell you this, George Pickens getting handed this man. If you think George Pickens was frustrated about not being used before, George Pickens is going to get derailed. George Pickens is going to piss this man off. George Pickens is going to be pissed off all the time. George Pickens is probably done. Until this guy leaves again, which might be 1 year. But George Pickens, how can we expect George Pickens, who can't keep calm and collected? He's an absolute head case, really, off the field on the sidelines, and he's going to have to deal with not getting used properly. Give me a break. George Pickens is going to be in the doghouse and be just in a very bad mental place. He'll be pulling a Stephon Diggs, I'm just checked out, by midseason. I'm not going anywhere near a single Pittsburgh Steeler. And while we have a natural inclination to say, hey, let's go ahead and bank on Jaylen Warren because Arthur Smith loves the backup running back. He makes the backup running back the starter. Therefore, by osmosis and flexing over the component structure, square rooting the megawatt volt component timekeeper should equal at least, that Jaylen Warren is, according to Arthur Smith, the best goal line back in the National Football League. That's how Arthur Smith calculates everything. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger. He's garbage. Arthur Smith's garbage. Pickens, bye-bye. I don't even know at what point I'd take him, because guess what? Think of Drake London. At one point, even if you drafted Drake London last year, at what point could you use him? You couldn't trust him. I don't know that I could trust George Pickens ever. Najee, he was already teeter-tottering on how the hell do we value him. He did so good at the end of the year. Hats off, and let's send him to the moon, just because Najee did really well in a very tough spot. Did very well in a very, very tough spot. Thank you, IG, for being here. Very well in a very tough spot. Came back, looked really strong, ran hard. But Najee Harris is dead in the water. Pickett, dead in the water. Jaylen Warren, I don't know. Maybe he survives this like a cockroach somehow in a nuclear storm, just because he's the backup running back. He's the one that gets the free pass. He's got a fast pass right to the front of the line. Who knows? You think Deontay Johnson's going to survive in a watered-down offense where he commands 8,000 targets so he can catch 50 footballs? Do you think that a guy that didn't use Kyle Pitts is going to use either of the tight ends in Pittsburgh? This is done. Absolute done. And my emphasizing this negativity over here is to further amplify this positivity over here, because Ben Johnson staying is a blessing. Ben Johnson staying is helping this offense stay on track, because if he left, it would be very similar to when Shane Steichen left the Philadelphia Eagles and Sirianni was left to try and man the fort. He wasn't meant to man the fort. Sirianni is not a coaching tree replicating person. He's not making coaching trees. Sirianni is a one of one that does kind of a good job in a compartmentalized structure and role, where he has amazing people under him maybe, but if those people get raptured out, he has no coaching tree to replicate those pieces. That's why Sirianni struggled. Now, he got Kellen Moore in Philly, which is fantastic. Fangio, DC, Kellen Moore, OC, Philadelphia to the freaking moon. Sirianni, now he's back in his role where he's not having to make decisions. You got Fangio, you got Kellen Moore, who created and architected and helped make the Dallas Cowboys offense the way it was walking into his departure last year. He went to the Chargers, kind of failed there. I don't blame Kellen Moore there. Kellen Moore is back in an amazing system, and Kellen Moore is going to take the Eagles back to the promised land, I believe. I really believe Kellen Moore is that's an underrated signing as well. That's an underrated coaching move as well. But this right here is quietly the best coaching move aside from Raheem Morris plus Zach Robinson over in the Atlanta Rams, which is now going to be an absolute magnificent place for fantasy football production, which is why I love Drake London. Zach Robinson is an absolute marvel, this QB coordinating monster coming over to be OC. This is a Rams staff. They brought over 3 people to head up this Rams staff. All of the components here are Rams, and Sean McVay can replicate and reproduce that coaching tree under him and actually take care of those roles himself if he had to, because Sean McVay made these men. Sirianni didn't make Steichen, didn't make the men to a degree. It's not something I believe Sirianni is going to be able to replicate. That's why Kellen Moore is needed. Miami Mike McDaniel, he was an offspring of Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan was able to replace and continue to march on while that offspring went over and started replicating its own. That's the way this works. So this news is fantastic, because Campbell is not like Shanahan. Campbell is not like Sean McVay. Campbell losing Ben Johnson would be the equivalent of Sirianni losing Shane Steichen, who went to Indy to go mold and sculpt AR5, who we absolutely love. AR5 to the moon. AR5 to Saturn. AR5 is the man. This move is amazing. Bobby Slowik, while we're on the topic of disappointing no-go situations, Bobby Slowik, according to a report here Texans coach Bobby Slowik has agreed on a new deal with a significant raise to stay with the team. This is quietly near as good as this news right here. Why? Because of the same concept. Look, I like DeMeco Ryans. Everybody does. His team loves him. The city loves him. Football loves him. A smart fan understands how good of a player's coach he is. Look, DeMeco's amazing. DeMeco's the guy. Okay, but we don't know what DeMeco would do without his boys that have been doing what they've been doing, building Stroud up, and hats off to Slowik saying, I'm staying with my boy Stroud. I'm staying with my boy Stroud. And this news, Ben Johnson back in Detroit. This news, Bobby Slowik back in Houston. Stroud to the moon. Tank Dell to the moon. Nico to the moon. Maybe Saquon Barkley to Houston. Maybe Derrick Henry to Houston. This is going to be a great year. A great year for the Houston Texans, for DeMeco, who made the right move, for Slowik, who made the right move. Stroud to the moon. These moves, this is a great day. Other than for Arthur Smith and the Steelers, God, I feel bad for Ron. Aside from that, this is a great day. These are the most understated non-moves I've ever seen in my life.
Liftoff of mission 3, 2, 1, 0.
Unbelievable. IG, appreciate my IG people in the house. Your comments can now be seen on YouTube, so I can drag that over. Let me see here. We got super chats. We had Trade Higgins. This is from 33. Appreciate your super chat, my boy. Trade Higgins, 20-25 second. You still here, 33? And a 26 third for London and a 25 first. Smitty approved. Trade Higgins, a 25 second, a 26 third for London, and a 25 first. Let me put it this way, bro. Like, you need to take a big fat lap for not accepting this, like, without asking me. Okay, just, you should have hit it, but you're coming here for my advice. But then go take a damn victory lap, son. Because I trade T. Higgins straight up for Drake London. You're getting a 25 first rounder for the second and third, in addition to getting the better option. London is a true wide receiver one, and he's about to become a Mars man later tonight if you aren't careful. Okay, so everybody that's watching right now, inside information. Mars man approaching. His name's Drake London. If you're here, you got the inside scoop. Okay? You crushed this trade. Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Unbelievable trade, bro. And hopefully you're still here. I think you're still here. Superfish, thank you for your super chat. This one goes from Boss Horn Deckard. Boss Horn Deckard in the house doing the double Deckard. Whenever Deckard drops a double super chat, he gets a double Deckard call out. Double Deckard to the moon. Let's send him to the moon for that one right there. Rock Out dropping a double as well. Rock Out, appreciate you dropping that. Let me put this on screen here and come back to Rock Outs as well. Thank you, 33. I hope you're still in the chat. I'll go look for your comment to make sure you're here. But you absolutely smashed on that trade. Congrats on that. Phone lines will be open in a second. Let me see if 33 is in the house. I'm looking for his comment. Smitty, how's your... what's my referral? How do you put your referral in for Underdog? Click this link right here, bro. I'm gonna drop the link right now in the live chat. This is what you want to click, okay? It asks you how you heard from us, and this link will insert Smitty for you, code Smitty. But if you downloaded the Underdog app, it'll say how'd you hear about us when you're signing up. It's only for new customers, but it'll double your first deposit up to $100, and then you'll be able to draft with us. So if we draft tonight, I think I'll go live. We're gonna do a lot tonight. Tonight's gonna be busy. We're going to go live on YouTube to do a Mars Man announcement. Then we're probably going to draft right after. And so we'll be on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. I just dropped the link right there in the live chat. Please hit the link. For anybody on Instagram, go to my profile. you'll see, or use code Smitty. You'll see on my profile a link to Underdog. Go to Underdog. It'll insert code Smitty for you. They'll double your first deposit. Dustin, appreciate you asking, and definitely let me know if you did that, bro. Let me know when you've completed that. Appreciate you. 44 in the house. 33. Is 33 here? Can anybody confirm that 33 is here? Did he get my response? I hope he did. I don't know if he did. Rock Out says Lions better give Ben Johnson a raise. I think they will, but yes, Rock Out. Fantastic news. Arthur Smith is kryptonite of all offense. Bro, that's a great way to put it. Kryptonite for sure. Niners or Chiefs again. We'll get to that later, Juan. I'm pretty sure I'm leaning, again, what I want to happen isn't necessarily what I think will happen. The Chiefs seem destined. How's the 2024 website looking? Fantastic, Deckard. I've been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff with video courses and everything, but I'm going to be dropping a whole bunch of rookie content, written content on thefantasyfootballshow.com. So make sure everybody gets on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com, and I will drop the link to it right here if anybody wants to hit up thefantasyfootballshow.com, want rankings, bold predictions, all that. Drop it like it's hot right there. There's the link. Appreciate you asking about that, pal. Boss Horn Deckard says Mahomes is the GOAT, but can they stop CMC? Look, the Chiefs are a good D. So I think there's a possibility they can, but that will be the key component, I believe, is trying to shut down CMC. If they can, I think they can win the game. If they can, I think the Chiefs lose the game. So I do think it does come down to the running and success of Christian McCaffrey, no doubt about it. Washington fans are hurt about Detroit needed to make. Yes, I know. Hey, so here's the other piece of news, Sick Nasty, while we're on this topic, is where's this at? I got another piece right here. Dan Quinn is, I believe, going for a second interview, right? Second interview with the Commanders. Remember what I told you a little over 24 hours ago when Arthur Smith was going to interview with the Steelers, that at this point, at this stage in the game, when somebody goes to an interview, they're almost always like getting hired right now because the coaching opportunities are limited. They're dwindling away, and people are wanting to strike really fast. Do I think Vrabel could get back into a conversation potentially? I guess some say Bills now maybe in conversation of being looked at again in Washington, but Quinn's going for a second interview. So my guess is, now that Johnson is off this block here, Slowik is now off the block here. I don't know why Monken's not being looked at. Monken in Washington would be perfect with Adam Peters and whatever. So Dan Quinn would mean that they need a great, they have an OC, but they need to have a great OC in place. And I think that maybe they do. Maybe Bieniemy's, I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of that, but I do think that Adam Peters will get the job done. I believe Adam Peters will absolutely get the job done. I think he's going to put the right pieces in place. If he believes it is Quinn, I trust in Adam Peters. I really do. So this might make this Washington defense amazing in ways that help support everything else, and it doesn't have to come down to Quinn making offensive calls or play calls. So it's going to really come down to what do they get? What does Adam Peters do with the QB position? And when you really think about it, what Howell did was amazing. So like we can rip on Bieniemy, where we can rip on this offense and say, oh, it wasn't what it actually was. Really damn good considering what they were working with. And I liked Howell. Howell played like a top 6 quarterback in fantasy for chunks of the season. So it's definitely like I'm really excited about what's going to happen in Washington no matter what. Even though Ben Johnson's not going there, I'd rather have Ben Johnson in Detroit. There's too many moving parts in Detroit to mess that up. So I'm very, very ecstatic that we're having Ben Johnson stay. Dan Quinn, like I said with Arthur Smith, the moment he headed to Pittsburgh about 24 hours ago.
Motion detected at the front door.
I told you, Ziggy, show me the front door. I told you he was going to be hired because at this stage in the game, you're getting hired. So Dan Quinn's second interview, I can almost guarantee he's going to get hired as head coach of the Washington Commanders. Unless the interview goes really bad. Ziggy off. If the interview goes really bad, then that could obviously change it. All right, that's all she wrote. Ron Navy dropping a $20 hauler on screen. Ron Navy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20
Ron says,
Alert. Super chat alert.
F me running. Go from stuck at the bottom of the barrel. Fodder. Put Tomlin on planet Uranus. Okay, we'll put him on there. Ron, appreciate the 20. Appreciate the 20. Doing it live. Boss horn activated. Boss horn activated. Hold on. I don't know why I'm not putting these safety. And I also have this button here, Ron. I have this keychain. I can activate this thing just by pressing this button right here. Poor Ron. Poor Ron. And real quickly, before we go any further, let me do one more sponsorship thing. I told you guys I'll be doing this today. On the desk right here, I have, you guys know I wear sunglasses partly for migraines. That does not help. That's kind of a stupid move on my part to bring a boss horn into the family when, these lights and everything create migraine situations for me anyway. But this company, Far Out, fantastic company, fantastically cheap in a good way. Glasses for people that don't want to spend $150, $200 on glasses, or they go through them really quickly, or you're really into snowboarding and sports and you want like a sporty glasses that you can, throw around, break, whatever. Far Out is gracious enough to send all these to me, and go ahead and check them out. Far Out sunglasses. Here's the first one I'm going to put on. Now, unfortunately, I'm just doing an honest review. I told them I'd be completely honest with this process too. Honest review, I love all of them. So there's no negative review here, to be completely upfront. However, I can't use some of these on my stream because they're so good at blocking out light that I can't even see text on the screen with some of these. So these are my normal ones. When I put these ones on, I can't read the text, all the white text, all the screen. It's so faint. I can barely see anything on my screen. It's almost like a privacy screen is on my screen. But these glasses are amazing outdoors, and they have what looks like a complete front one piece of lens, what it really is. But on the back, you can see they're actually glasses. But on the front, so they're pretty awesome. And so that's this pair here. And the second pair from Far Out, I'll put on this one. Just different colors. I believe this is a yellow, I believe. I think. I mean, I like them, and they feel really good. They're I think they're $23. They have sales sometimes between $18 and $23 for these glasses. I think across the board. And so if you want a sporty glass, pair of glasses, you're out there in the sun, whatever. These are really awesome. I love these as well. And then if we go over to, I got a couple more of these same styles I'll put on. These are all black. They're similar. I like these. These are pretty awesome as well. I just can't. I can see I can't see the comments. The reason I can see the comments is I'm looking. Yeah, they're polarized. I'm looking to my right, and I can see everything clear through the polarization on them. But when I look straight, it's all it's really tough. But I love I love these. I definitely will wear them outside of the studio. And then this is the last pair. These are all black. I was hoping that maybe these would be a little different, but they're not. They're still, polarized to the same degree. But I liked it. I mean, man, I could definitely chill walking outside with these. I'm definitely going to wear them. And then let's go over to the last two pairs. These are more my style, really, for the show. All right, so we got the these are, you probably can't see on my screen the difference between the two, really. These are blue lenses. These are black lenses. So you can't really tell too much, but maybe if I put them on, you'll be able to. Now, these are pretty cool. They're definitely, like I said, they feel different. They feel okay, yeah, I like those, and I can see perfectly. So they're polarized too. I don't think the polarization is the thing that's costing the ability to see. I think it's just, I don't know, the way it is. But yeah, these are pretty cool. I like these. These are definitely my style. I'm gonna put these over here for the show. And then here are the non-blue similar Kind of similar looking though. But yeah, I like these. I like these a lot. Let's keep them on for a little bit. All right. So thank you to the people over at Far Out. Everybody wants to check them out. Far Out, phenomenal. I do that all the time too. So it's perfect marriage here between your boy and these guys. So go check them out. Their website, let me just give you, I think their website's the exact same, faroutsunglasses.com. So let me, Far Out Sunglasses. Let me put that on screen real briefly so you guys know how to find them. faroutsunglasses.com. And for the remainder of the show, I'm going to keep this on the marker board screen so you guys know. faroutsunglasses.com. That's what I'm sporting right now. I like them. I like them a lot. I mean, these are pretty damn cool shades. Okay, let's take some phone calls. Ron Navy probably will want to call in and rant and rave about the situation. Oh, we got 2 Boss Horn orders from Perps, bro. Perps says, did someone say Boss Horn promo code? Yes, I have a promo code. Code Smitty. Code Smitty on the Boss Horn. Let me put that up.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Code Smitty for the Boss Horn will get you up to 10% off, I believe. Code Smitty, 10% off on the Boss Horn. If anybody wants to get one of these bad boys, they're absolutely amazing. Code Smitty will get you 10% off. Let's do that proper. Okay, now that I got the Code Smitty on there, 10% off. Code Smitty at Boss Horns. I think it's bosshorn.com. Yeah, bosshorn.com. And then Boss Horns on IG is their IG handle. But both of these, $20, so we'll hit it again for Perp since he dropped 2. Hold the line, Ron Navy. And Arthur Smith, you must trust Mike will hold him to the fire. I don't know, bro. Thank you. I know you're probably joking. Safety first.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
And then I think Perps dropped another one. Perps dropped another one. Dropped the third one. He wants a third Boss Horn. He wants a third Boss Horn. Hey, Perps. Perps, you're on the phone. What's up? You're live. You dropped the third Boss Horn order? Okay.
Yep, I got 3 of them. One was for Ron. I was trying to show Ron some love because he's having a rough start to his night.
What kind of toot would you like? Would you like a short, rapid fire toot? You want a kind of a longer one, like a 1 second?
Well, I'm thinking you got to use that remote and just let it rip.
Okay, let's do that. We'll put it right here. All right. I'm gonna try and hold the remote, see if it does a rapid fire or a long one. Ready? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Now, I hope Miss Smitty knows it's not 11 p.m. Eastern yet, so these are all $20 haulers that activate the Boss Horn. We have another 2 hours before the Boss Horn activation costs a $100 hauler for the sake of the family. So if anybody wants to sneak in one before we get past that time, we will be going live on YouTube and Instagram later to drop a Mars Man. And if you guys missed who that is, that's your own fault, because you should have been here early. But I announced who the Mars Man is going to be on this channel, on this show. We'll be dropping that tonight. So get ready to do that. And if anybody drops a $100 hauler tonight, when it's 11 p.m. Eastern or later, Miss Smitty cannot complain. I already told her. I'll upgrade your iPhone, and you can get some Beats by Dre. She requested that at the last second. And everything that has to be over a $100 hauler from 11 p.m. Eastern on. And if she complains, we're going to take a phone and take a hammer to it. Ron Navy's...
Hey, just remember... If Miss Smitty gets upset, just blame Denny.
Yeah, Denny did it all. Ron Navy's on the line. Ron, you're on with Perps and myself. Keep the swear words to a minimum and try and be as correct as you can be, please. Go ahead.
Family show, Ron.
Yeah.
Family show.
Kind of.
Bleep, 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 and that's all I got to say about that.
And that's all, folks. I don't blame you, Ron. I don't blame you. I will say, Ron is always active, yelling at people left and right all over the internet on Tomlin. And honestly, I have to say, Tomlin, this bringing in Arthur Smith makes me feel like Tomlin's incompetent. Like, to not understand what he just destroyed. Like, how are you that incompetent? How do you not see how bad Arthur Smith was in Atlanta? How do you not see, if you're Tom, like, Ron, you're right on this. I think I'll be surprised you haven't called in every Steelers show in known to man and completely blasted them to pieces when they started arguing with you about Tomlin being the answer. They're going to give this man an extension. The man that just brought Arthur Smith in as your head coach, they're about to give him an extension. Like, this team is not going to do anything for 5 years.
Bro, you heard me. I sent it to you. I sent my call when I called Moving the Chains with Jim Miller and Pat Coran. You listened to that.
Yeah.
And they're on Sirius XM radio. You heard me go off on Tomlin on them. And yeah, I've been going off. I've been screaming my ears out about Tomlin. This is a man. Okay, how is it that everybody's like so high on Tomlin, Oh, he's never had and I scream at the top of my lungs. He can't develop quarterbacks. He can't hire coaches. Name one coach that he's hired and developed that's done anything. The answer is zero. He hasn't done nothing. And like I said before, when he came in, he went to the Super Bowl, but that was coward players, coward coaching staff. Dick LeBeau, Withing Hunt was there, and Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians developed Big Ben, so he never had to worry about developing the quarterback because he was already developed.
Yeah.
So what has he done since?
So I don't know if you heard.
He loses Dick LeBeau, and then in 2011 he goes back to the Super Bowl against Green Bay, loses that one, has a losing freaking playoff record, and everybody wants to put him on a freaking pedestal like he's next best thing since crotchless panties. I swear to God.
Okay, so real quickly, Ron, I don't know if you heard me say earlier that the way we felt about London, if we reflect back, which has tainted a lot of people's view on London, because London didn't, explode and he was inconsistent, and everybody's going to be a little cautious with London, which is why I love London so much, which is why we might do a separate show on Drake London tonight that has something to do with one of these lists. So get ready, because London's going to the moon now. The thing I'm so concerned about Pickens is it doesn't matter how good he is. It doesn't matter if he can have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in one game. He will be so inconsistent and go through droughts of scoring that no one can trust him to even put him in. Because if you put him in for 8 games, it'll be like what you experienced with Ridley times 2. Like, having Ridley in until he blew up was so hard. Because if you took him out, he'd blow up on your bench and you get nothing. And you'd be so mad at him because he blew up on your bench and did nothing for 3 straight games. Pickens is going to be that times 2. Not to mention if he even makes it to that, because he's kind of a head case a little bit. Like, I'm not saying all wide receivers don't have that diva mentality. A lot of them do. But this guy's not going to be patient with the way Arthur Smith runs the offense. Pickens is going to lose it. And he's going to spiral out of control. I want nothing to do with even our boy Pickens, who I love so much. It feels like an unraveling waiting to happen. Everything we thought about, like Kadarius Toney, when we said, we like him, but we're a little afraid of that. This just feels like Pickens to me. Like, it's going to unravel. It's not going to work out. Pickens will not have the ability to stand in and put up with the misusage, and he's going to lose it. There's not a single Pittsburgh Steeler I'm going to draft in 2024. I know you probably feel the same way, Ron, to some degree. I know it's painful to hear, but I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't already feel. But Good God, man. How are they going to do anything? How are they going to do anything? And look at Kyle Pitts. And you think these tight ends are going to be used in Pittsburgh? Like, hell no.
No, they're all going to be trash. And you know, I mean, the offense, yeah, but the defense is giving up tons and tons of points. So where's the defense even? I mean, nobody's talking about the defense, how crappy the defense. Tomlin's supposed to be this defensive wizard, right? He sucks. He sucks at every facet except for fucking, excuse my, I let one go, but except for preaching. He's a great cheerleader. That's all Tomlin is. He's a glorified cheerleader. And these guys say, I don't want to play for anybody but Tomlin. Well, you're settling for mediocrity. You're settling for crap because you're not playing up to any standard except mediocrity. I don't care if TJ Watt gets on there. What? So you have 19 sacks. You can't stop the run, can you, TJ Watt? No, you're settling for mediocrity. All the players are settling for mediocrity. They say they won't play for anybody but Tomlin's piece of crap ass. And that's a fact.
Yeah. So let's go into Goff's comment here. Goff says, here is an odd positive perspective. Could Arthur Smith help the Steelers? Look, I'll be honest in saying that walking into the season, I thought everything on paper, the numbers, the everything he did the year prior with Tyler Algier, making Tyler Algier a damn good running back, running the ball 569 times, I believe it was. It was an unreal on paper marriage between Arthur Smith and the run game. And as much as we want to pretend like you could see it coming, you really couldn't. But at this point, you can't unsee what you saw. The incompetence of not knowing that Bijan is the guy, the incompetence of thinking he's not even the goal line guy. Like, you want to give, like, between the tackle work to, you know, to Algier, and you're weird about that. I mean, we could go over that in a different light, but when you literally are on the goal line, when it's first and goal, and you're at the 9-yard line, and you got 4 attempts if you really want to, and you don't even think to run Bijan Robinson once, not only run him on first down, run him on second down, run him on third down, and you could run him on fourth down. You give me Bijan Robinson at the 10-yard line or in 4 plays, I will run it 4 straight times, and I will score 99% of the time. It's incompetence. And to put Cordero Patterson in when he decides not to use Algier on the goal line, to call Tyler Algier the best goal line back, one of the best goal line backs in the league, which is a stupid statement. Like, this is one of the dumbest coaches, I think, in the NFL. And I didn't necessarily believe that to start the year, and I admit that. I don't even think it was blind optimism on my part. There's a lot of data that supported that. And some people have said, hey, Smitty, you love all the data that supported that. What makes you think that Zach Robinson in Atlanta won't do the same thing? And to anybody's point that says that, we don't know. That's the nature of collecting information, making the best educated guess you can, and letting it all play out. If we knew it for a fact, everybody would all be on board to the degree that Bijan's going number 1 overall and everybody's too hyped. So there's going to be a lot of doubters. There's going to be a lot of believers. There is a lot of blind faith. There is a lot of, your best logic put into something, and you make calculated estimations. I'm not scared of a miscalculated guesstimation. When people say to me, when in my Instagram post, you'll see a lot of haters that'll say, the haters don't even bother me. You see a lot of haters, like on a Jahmyr Gibbs post, say, yeah, but what about your Bijan call? That he's going to be the number 1 running back as a rookie. Like, as if those people think I'm scared of swinging again. The way I look at things is the way that, like, Babe Ruth looked at it. You're going to go out and make a bunch of big strikeout swings, but the way we do things, and it's not throwing mud at the wall. Oh, you swing enough, you're going to hit a home run. No, we're hitting a lot of home runs. We're clearly, like, people wouldn't be coming back to this channel if we just missed all the time and hit once in a while. But what's so funny is when you miss hardcore on something, and I admit that I missed on where Bijan would finish. He was still number 9. I'm not that upset about the way Bijan Robinson unfolded at the end of the day, to be honest with you. Number 9 is pretty damn good. But when people come at me and they act like it's going to offend me, or I'm going to be all sad about it because they're like, well, what about this or what about that? I'm not scared one single bit ever on missing on a player and going straight into another prediction. A sophomore slump wide receiver, from 2023. You look at London, you look at Christian Watson, you look at Dotson, you look at all these wide receivers that were sophomore wide receiver slumps. Scares me zero. Has zero relation to all the sophomore wide receivers walking into this season. I'm not scared at all. You live scared, you start worrying about stuff like that, and you don't just judge everything on its own merit. Everything's case by case. You start using that data to help tell a Fugazi story about sophomore wide receivers. Is there a trend for sophomore wide receivers to slump? Absolutely. Like, there's something to factor in. But I'm not scared to say Bijan's going to be a monster. I'm not scared to love, with logic involved, Zach Robinson with a lot of logic involved. I'm not scared for that to be wrong because Arthur Smith didn't work out. You got to move on. You got to adjust and adapt. Adjust and adapt season is what it's all about here on the channel.
Check this out. What do you think? What do you think those guys? What do you think Tickett's thinking? What do you think Mason's thinking? I mean, these guys see how Atlanta's gone the last couple of years. They've seen that Ritter has not developed. They see that Heineke's junk. They see that Mariota's junk. In fact, you know what? If I'm Mason Rudolph, I'm saying, hey, getting a hold of his old buddy, his old acquaintance from Oklahoma State that's down in Atlanta, saying, hey, come get me out of this mess. He needs to get out of there. He needs to go. If he's going to have any ability to get on a team.
No offense, Ron.
If he had any chance at all, it's done now. He's done. It's over.
Hey,
they can draft a quarterback. They can bring in a veteran quarterback. They're not going to succeed, no matter what quarterback you bring in there. But they will use whatever quarterback's there as an scapegoat for Tomlin and for Arthur Smith's failures this coming next year. Watch.
Yeah. Okay. No offense, Ron, but let's move on from the Steelers because they're done. They're not even fantasy relevant. But let's go. Who said hey?
Smitty.
Yeah. Perps. What's up?
So, just a couple of quick things. I agree with Ron's take on Tomlin and leaders in general. Good leaders surround themselves with good supporting cast. So a good OC, a good defensive coordinator, wide receivers coach, things like that. You know, a good leader, a good head coach is going to manage the team, and Tomlin has failed at that. But we can't dispute what Arthur Smith did this year with Bijan and how he took the Falcons into the tank. However, look back to when he was the OC in Tennessee. Is there any chance that he redeems himself? Because Derrick Henry had some of his best years with Arthur Smith as his OC. And the Tennessee Titans had some of their best years as an offensive team in general, finishing in the NFL. So what are the chances we could get that Arthur Smith?
Yeah, you could. Like, let's say Tomlinson, and there's a possibility here, and then we'll move on from the Steelers. But there's a possibility that Tomlin has his thumb on everything, and that certainly could be the case. When Ron said what if Zach Robinson went over to Pittsburgh because he'd have more longevity or something like that, I didn't like that necessarily, because at the end of the day, if he goes over to LA with his boy Raheem Morris, he's got carte blanche to do whatever he wants, and he's going to be trusted in it, and everything will be given to him. He'll be able to make all these decisions. So he's a perfect marriage, number one. But I think that, like, there's a possibility that Arthur Smith, if he's like micromanaged, could get the offense running the ball well. But like, you'd have to have Tomlin deciding who's is it going to be a rotation? At this point, I don't know. And I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know that I can overlook what I saw, though. Like, maybe, I guess to answer your question, and Golf said the same thing. Is there a possibility there's a silver lining somehow for the run game? I don't think for the offense, though, because the offense needed someone better than Arthur Smith, because Arthur Smith can't solve problems that the Steelers need to solve, in my opinion. The quarterback and all those other positions, even if it's just molding and sculpting a quarterback that needs to be sculpted, that's not Arthur Smith. So unfortunately, they're set up to fail. And when you set up to fail in the past, it's going to trickle down and ruin the run. At the end of the day, is there a shot in hell that he's micromanaged to the point where he dials up some good run and Najee has a good year, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns or something. It's certainly possible, but I can't unsee what I've seen, and I'll let somebody else take that risk. Is it possible? Sure. Do I want to have anything to do with it? No. Will I feel bad or regret not having anything to do with it? Absolutely not, because I'm going to move aside, take somebody that's safer, and in a worst-case scenario, the player I take is going to do just as good as Najee, and I can move on with my life, and I could care less. So that's kind of my thinking. You're not wrong. Golf's not wrong in thinking there could potentially somehow, some way be a silver lining if this man is micromanaged and funneled into a certain direction. Yeah, I mean, that's why we were excited about him in Atlanta, because he had success running the damn ball. But he's incompetent. To not know Bijan should be played, that's incompetence. Like, I almost wonder how he did, how he had success in the past. Like, I don't even want to say, because he had, it's got to translate here somehow. I don't even know that I can even go that way. The only way I can go is to not question will it happen, to question how the hell it happened. Because if you don't know Bijan Robinson's your best running back, if you don't know that he's at least your second best running back at the goal line, like, you are an incompetent person. He's incompetent. And I can't trust an incompetent person with any of my fantasy football players or the selections or predictions or anything. But
and I'm not bringing up these points to stir the pot or
no, it's a good question. It's a good question, Perps. It's a good question.
I mean, ultimately, the Rooneys have to look at themselves in the mirror. If Tomlin has another year and Arthur Smith comes in and totally craps the bed, they got to get rid of that staff and start fresh, because they're going to run the Steelers into the basement.
Yeah, and Perps, don't think asking the question was bad. Golf asked it too. Like, it's a valid, like, hey, can we just answer this question? Like, why did he have success and what could happen? It's a great question, but my answer again would be, for me, I'll let someone else try that out. I'm not going to lose a single wink of sleep over it. Yeah, I'd rather draft Drake. I'd rather draft Drake London instead of anybody on that Pittsburgh Steelers team. And I bet you that's in some cases where you'll see Drake London might be where Najee would be or something. I don't know. I'll have to see where Drake London's value is, because, man, I'm so excited about him. All right, hey, let's move on from a different topic. Ron, you got 30 seconds to conclude. I know you wanted to say something else, but I want to move on from the Steelers, because to me they're dead.
No, they've always been dead to you.
Well, now they are. Now they're officially dead.
You've always hated talking about.
Oh my God! Nobody cares about the Steelers. Wrong, Smitty.
Denny in the building. Denny.
Oh, Ron, what's up, Smitty?
Yeah.
Smitty.
Yeah.
What's
Denny.
up, bro? No,
What's up, Denny? Where you been?
Are we talking about the Steelers? Why are we talking about the Steelers?
We're not. We're not anymore. Denny.
You need to send me all your alcohol. I need all your alcohol. Send it to Pensacola, Florida. Send it now.
Denny.
It's an emergency. Send it all down.
What's wrong?
Hey,
why?
Denny.
Why?
Denny.
Tell me why, Ron.
Denny. All right, enough Steelers. Denny. There's a boss horn right in front of you. When are you dropping the $20 super chat so we can fire it off?
Oh, I gotta drop the $20 super chat.
I'm just saying. When are we firing off the Denny boss horn? If you drop a $20 super chat, I'll fire it off and yell Miss Smitty. I'll say, Denny says hi, Miss Smitty. Burp, 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 burp.
There used to be a thing where we all were on the same page, and I'm not sure why I have to drop 20 for Miss Smitty.
Because the last time Miss Smitty had heard what you've been up to, you were walking around Vegas talking to waitresses and asking each one of them if they were Miss Smitty. And, it kind of puts you in a bad spot in Miss Smitty's mindset.
But did I not tell them that they had nothing on Miss Smitty?
You did. At that point, Miss Smitty already walked away, and I couldn't explain it, though.
Denny, it's for the medium Smitty and the small Smitty.
That's true. All right, hey Denny. Anyways, I'm just joking with you, Denny. What can I do for you? What's the topic? No Steelers. We're done with Steelers. What can I do for you? Give me a topic.
Are we done with the Steelers?
Yes.
Okay. I got a couple topics actually.
All right, hit me with it, Denny. Zip it.
Steelers.
How about no, Steelers don't even
Okay,
matter.
okay,
Like,
Denny,
why-
zip it. Go.
I'm sorry. All right,
Steelers, Denny.
how about all right, how about nobody hiring Belichick?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that and how? And I'll say something else. As a QB, like whisperer, when Mac came in, he was all right. You know, when he was a freshman, he was all right, and then he just got destroyed. And then I found out that Belichick wouldn't even talk to him. Do you guys know that? Belichick wouldn't even talk to Mac Jones.
Belichick doesn't talk to anybody, Denny. Like I don't know if you've seen, like he doesn't have conversations. The only person he would talk to a lot was Tom Brady and like Randy Moss. But Belichick is a problem. I don't know what makes you seem to think Belichick is some great, you know.
No, I'm going that way. No, he's
Okay.
the problem. No, I'm with you so much on that.
Okay.
I just, and then I just found out that he wouldn't even talk to Mac, like after week 12
I wouldn't
last
talk
year.
to Mac either. I wouldn't talk to
Okay.
Mac either. Hey,
Smitty,
hey,
you know
Denny,
what?
Denny, real quickly. Perps just dropped a $20 holler in your honor. So I'm gonna fire off the boss. I'm gonna fire off the boss horn. I'm gonna say Denny says hello, Miss Smitty. All right, hold on.
See, she says hi to me.
Alert. Super chat alert.
What is he doing back there? Like,
Denny Butler.
Miss Smitty, Denny would like to say hello.
Alert. Super chat alert.
I find it hilarious. I just always wonder what she's doing back there.
I don't know. Activities. I don't know. She's probably saying, I'm gonna push the bunk beds apart and I'm gonna sleep on the couch tonight. Is essentially what she's saying. I already made hard rules on the boss horn that if she complains, the iPhone gets taken. You know, they're gonna smash it. Which
She's not going to complain about me. I guarantee she's not complaining about me.
Hey,
You know what I mean? 'Cause
as for I doubt that, but as for Belichick, I would say that the thinking is he's going to step away for a year, and that he's going to have his choice of where he wants to go, which is a really weird thing when you think about it. Like when you say that out loud, it's kind of stupid logic, but it's what everybody keeps peddling. That right now he can't get a job when there's 7 openings, or there was. And yet he's going to have his choice of everything next year. What in the hell is going to change? Like, there's going to be other teams that look really good and offensive coordinators that look really good. Like, it's a really dumb way to look at it, in my opinion. Like, he's just going to sit out and he's going to be hot. Yeah, everyone's going to be hot to trot to get him next offseason. But the thinking is, some say Andy Reid steps away in a year or two and he walks into KC. Some say Bill on TV, but when someone says that, I say Bill on TV. Bill can't even talk to his own players, like Denny said. How is he going to talk to an audience? How is Bill going to be good on TV? He's just going to go, yeah. Hey, Bill, your car's on fire outside. Is it really? Hey, Bill, you just won $1 million. Really, I did. Okay, that's it. It's just monotone Bill Belichick. You could tell him anything. Everything's the same. We got one more $20 hauler. Hold on. One more $20 hauler, boss horn firing.
in my name.
We also have 33 says smash the London trade immediately. Just bragging. Hey, 33, appreciate you coming back and let me know you saw my response. But absolutely, Smitty approved that trade. You crushed it, bro. London for Higgins, and you got a first rounder. That's just ridiculous. That guy's gonna get kicked out of your league for making that stupid trade. Denny is an Arthur. Ron dropping a 20 wad saying Denny is an Arthur Smith super fan.
No, don't do it. I
Super
can't
chat
stand
alert.
Arthur Smith. Come on, get out of here. All right? Ronnie,
You love him, Denny. Don't lie.
okay. I know Smitty loves Bijan, and he loves Smith. And you know what? Bijan can catch the ball. He can catch a rock, man. Bijan's got it. He's all right. You know who's a nasty boy? Is
Who's a nasty boy, Denny?
Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker. You lost Kenneth Walker next year.
We need to have we need to have a nasty boy animation. He's a nasty boy.
Oh, remember that tune? Nasty boy.
Nasty.
Oh,
Hey, sing
yeah.
it to us. Sing it to us. Nasty boy. Sing it about Kenneth Walker. Go. Let me turn the music down. Okay, go. Nasty boy about Kenneth Walker. Go. Dun, dun.
Kenneth Walker. 100 miles. Nasty boy. Kenneth Walker. He catches 100. Nasty boy. I don't know. You know, listen, we're old school. I don't.
Didn't it go nasty boy?
Nasty boy.
There you go.
Nasty boy. He's a nasty boy. Kenneth Walker. You know what? Bijan.
Bijan
He's a
boy.
nasty boy.
Give me a. Hey, you know what? Let's make it Bijan. I want you to sing Bijan. Hold it, Bijan boy. Doing that Bijan thing.
Bijan. He's a nasty boy. Bijan runs for 1,000 yards. He's a nasty boy.
I would love to see you doing karaoke, Denny.
Oh, I did. I've done good things, but it's been horrible. But I've done like really good karaoke. You know what I mean? Like where people are just like. The best karaoke I ever did was. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
It was Eddie Money. All right.
Give us a quick taste, real quick, and then we'll move on.
All right. No. Then it was like, baby, hold on to me. Whatever will be, will be. The future is ours to see. When you hold on to me, oh, Bijan, was that Bijan, baby? Was Anyway, that's
Hey, Denny, we couldn't hear you singing. You had the radio up, and the actual song was playing. Can you actually turn that down and then actually sing it for us? I think that was the original track.
Because I sounded exactly like the guy.
Oh, that was you? That was you?
Yeah, no, that was...
All I heard was Eddie Money.
I thought you were playing the song.
Get the hell out of here.
No, the whole audience was like, okay, can we hear him sing it, or is he gonna play the radio, or what? What's he doing? All right, hey, Travis is on the line. Hang tight, Denny. Travis, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, all I heard was Eddie Money too. So.
I know. I was just straight up.
Travis.
What's up, Benny?
Hey, what's up, Travis, man? I hope you're doing good tonight, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm good.
All right. What's your favorite song you ever heard?
He's taking requests. What's your favorite song? What do you want to hear?
Whatever you're singing, Benny. That's my favorite song.
No, I think Travis got something to say, man. Listen to what he has to say. But I'll sing. If you want me to sing.
Go ahead. Well, we'll have you sing about the next topic after Travis is done talking about it. So, Travis, what would you like to discuss?
No, just off of Belichick. You think Washington goes a different way? They don't go with him? Because when he's had GMs like Pioli and Casario there and stuff, the drafts weren't bad. It's when it became just Belichick that things fell apart. Now, I think the only place Belichick succeeds like a Cowboys or a Chiefs where they're like ready to win and comes in for a couple of years, wins the championship and leaves. Like that's the best you can hope for. But.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not hearing much on it yet. I know there's some people trying to speculate on that. Guys, hit that thumb up button if you could. We have
hit that subscribe button if you're new and wipe your feet at the door.
We have like 130 to 150 people popping in and out. It's only 68 thumbs up. Do the show a solid and hit that like button. I would say maybe there's some buzz that kicks into gear on that. I think because Dan Quinn interviewed a second time, Dan Quinn's the new head coach of the Washington Commanders.
I don't get that.
Well, I would say Ben Johnson was my choice. I think Munkin would be my second choice, to be honest. I don't know why he's not getting a serious look, given what he did with Lamar and did it, immediately with Lamar. And given that I believe Munkin with JD5 would be phenomenal, so I just really think that would be an amazing, marriage there. But if Dan Quinn gets brought in, it's kind of like Houston in their setup. It's kind of like the Rams in their setup. Like it's not necessarily a recipe that is going to be where you're like, oh, they're bringing in a defensive mind as head coach. Well, then that puts the onus on the OC, and it puts the onus on, I think, something we've seen looking pretty good in Washington, considering. Like they did with Howell, they did really well. They just need to protect him. They need to work on the offensive line. They need to bring in a big name signal caller. I think that's what Adam Peters is going to do. And then maybe we see this defense get upgraded massively, and Peters has a hand in giving more weapons and arsenal to this situation. And then all of a sudden Dan Quinn looks like, in a way, this Houston Texans arrangement, like D'Amico Ryans is an amazing coach, but he's not the offensive, mind there necessarily at all. So it's like he's the defensive mind brought over, the players coach, the man running the ship, but then he's got the right people in place, and I think that can be a successful formula. Especially with Dan Quinn likely bringing this Washington defense up a notch, then that just cascades into the offense. The offense is potent. It had potency potential. So give him a big-time gunslinger. And this number 2 overall pick, which I believe could very well be JD5, Jaden Daniels, my favorite quarterback, my favorite rookie quarterback, the next Lamar Jackson. Adam Peters knows his stuff, and I think he's gonna hand this offensive coordinator already there, a piece, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, I was, last thing I'll say, I was also, on top of Slowik saying, I was glad to see Gerard Johnson. I kind of wanted him to maybe come to the Pats and help out with the new quarterback. The quarterback's coach, that's big for Stroud, just for that comfort level. Not only the OC, but the quarterback coach is still there, so. For fantasy, that was some good news today all around. I mean, maybe even Munkin, if he stays with the Ravens, that could be good for fantasy, it's Lamar.
Yeah.
Is this guy the guy that was in that movie, Sam Elliott? Is this the guy from Roadhouse? Can you just say something else? No, how do you feel about that Green? No, he talks exactly like Sam Elliott.
The thing.
The
thing. Denny, the thing.
Yeah, the thing. No, stop. Can this guy just tell me how he feels about Uranus as a whole?
You're talking to Travis, the guy you just said, how you doing? What's up, Travis? I love you.
Travis.
Yeah, he thinks you sound like.
Yeah, you kind of remind me of Sam Elliott.
Do you know the guy from Roadhouse, the original, the old dude that would fight with he.
Dude, you're that guy.
I don't think he sounds like Sam Elliott, bro. I don't think he sounds like Sam Elliott.
I think he does.
Hey.
All right. Hey, anyway, I'm gonna roll everybody off the phone line. That way I can come back and do some more. I'll do the Mars Band show tonight. Denny, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'll do.
All right, we'll see you, Travis. Appreciate you, bro. Right now, all right, appreciate you. See you tonight.
He's good. He's good. My final thoughts is watch out. 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm going to tell you why.
It's rigged.
They're not going to sit back and let Kelsey zone. They're not going to let him do that, all right? They have no other one. 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. But I love that dude. That dude was badass, man.
All right, Denny. Denny, we'll appreciate you. Call in tonight, pal. Give me one more. Give me one more Bijan love song, real quickly. One sentence or 2 sentences. Sing it out. Go.
I love Bijan Belly. He's gonna be the MVP. One more track. Bijan got the bastard mustard.
The what?
20 more.
The bastard mustard? What?
All
right, hey, Denny, appreciate you, bro. Later.
All right. Big kisses. Later on, on.
Later. Perps, any final thoughts, Perps? Appreciate you.
Yeah, I thought Simon Cowell was listening and trying to sign Denny to a record deal there with those tunes.
Yeah, Denny might be raptured from the channel very soon. That might be why he's missing from time to time, doing auditions, flying around town. I don't know. Denny's got
he missed
angel voice.
He missed an opportunity that Ron Navy offered him up to come down to the Navy compound and bring all the alcohol, and Denny didn't take him up on it. So I think that's a big miss on Denny's part.
Yeah.
But nothing else.
All right,
I'll try to be on later. So thanks,
all right,
Smitty.
Perps, appreciate the $20 haulers and all your support. We'll see you later, pal. Ron Navy, final thoughts?
Yeah, man. You know, I love that super horn so much. I love it so much. It really makes me want to shine it up really, really nice. Turn that some bitch sideways and stick it straight up Tomlin's candy. Punk. Later.
All right. Appreciate everybody being here. Slowik staying in Houston. Absolute win. Bobby Slowik staying in Houston means that nothing changes in Stroud and Tank Dell and Collins, and the boys continue to thrive. And maybe Slowik staying in Houston, you know, D'Amico's can't do it by himself. This is not his thing. Offense is not what he's there to do. Bobby Slowik was brought in to turn this machine into a machine. And that's what it exactly is. And you got these free agent running backs and rookie running backs potentially, but more so I think Barkley, maybe a Derrick Henry, maybe a Jacobs, I think could very well be in Houston. Houston's a team on the rise. Bobby Slowik, absolute gem. Congrats to Houston Texan fans. You got a great piece of news today. On top of Slowik, we've got Dan Quinn, second interview in Washington. Not horrible news. I very much would have rather had Ben Johnson for that situation, but at the end of the day, I'd much rather have something else going on in Washington, because Washington, as much as I think JD5 and Adam Peters could produce a whole lot of fantasy production, there's nothing there to damage yet. Whereas if Ben Johnson left Detroit, you've got St. Brown, you've got Laporta, you've got Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery getting affected. Okay, so this is one of the best pieces of news we've had the entire offseason. Ben Johnson staying in Detroit, everything staying the same. Gibbs' stock goes up. Gibbs' stock goes up, Laporta goes up, stays up, Laporta increases, evolves, Gibbs' stock up, St. Brown's stock up. It's unbelievable. And then we've got Arthur Smith in Pittsburgh. To be quite honest, I know Ron doesn't want to hear this, but it's the least impacting place from where I was coming from before the season began, before the offseason began. I'm not targeting a bunch of Steeler players anyway. I'm not identifying a bunch of Steeler players as big-time breakouts. So this is like, in a control sense, the best place to send him to curb some fantasy football disaster and unravelings. It sucks for George Pickens. I was not a big Najee fan, although we give him his flowers. Najee deserves
to the moon
his flowers and to be sent to the moon for how he finished. Najee was finishing on a terror, and he deserves that credit and that the accolades there. But I don't know that I felt comfortable regardless because of what Ron says about Tomlin. You know, I agree to an extent. He let Matt Canada ruin that offense the entire year. I don't know that I trust Tomlin either. I'm with Ron on that. And if Arthur Smith's gonna go somewhere, I'd rather him go to a place that I don't have faith in anyway. And George Pickens, is sad to see him get locked into this situation and put in a box with Arthur Smith. But guess what? Pickens was also a little bit kooky last year. And so this is the most controlled environment. And yeah, we're going to put Tomlin on planet Uranus. But planet Uranus is already got a king.
And off he goes
to the planet known as Uranus.
He's been the king. He is the king. He'll remain the king. Arthur Smith, the king of planet Uranus. Appreciate all of you. Perps dropping one more goodbye toot horn. He says, one more for the family. We are T-minus an hour and 20 minutes away from not being able to fire the boss horn off on $20 haulers. It gets upgraded to 100 once we get past 11 p.m. Eastern. Here we go. Boss horn, $20 hauler. Appreciate you, Perps, dropping the 20 watt on screen. You are a monster. I'll see you all tonight. Marsman drop a little bit later, so buckle up, Buttercups. You got a Marsman dropping in T-minus, I don't know, hour or two, whatever. We'll be back here doing it live. Marsman, let's go. Appreciate you all.
Liftoff of mission 3, 2, 1, 0.
Got him.
But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10.
Hi, my name is B. John Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
I will be back. I'll be back. Get down. Get to the live stream. Get down tonight. Don't be late. Get to the chopper. We'll be live on this show to drop a Marsman tonight. Then we're going to go live on Rumble. Then we might even go live on the Dynasty channel. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday. This is the 8 p.m. show you're watching right now. Appreciate you all. See you all tonight for a Marsman special emergency live stream on this channel, the main channel. Do not forget to follow me on Rumble. Rumble is growing. We're doing near daily Rumble live streams. And plan to continue that. There's the Rumble link right there. Don't forget we're live on the Dynasty channel pretty much every night. Here's the Dynasty link right there. Make sure you're subscribed to the Dynasty channel. And make sure you're subscribed to Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, where we draft pretty much every other night at least. Hit that link right there. Those are the links. I want to thank Boss Horn and Far Out for being sponsors today. Grindhouse as well. And, of course, Underdog. We'll see you all tonight. Emergency live stream. Graveyard stream. Get down. Get to the chopper.